G'day, you legends. You're tuned in to the 3CIR podcast, where we turn real-world experience into real-world qualifications and a life you actually want to get up for in the morning. I'm Joel, but around here everyone calls me Slate. Former Army, still allergic to red tape, and very caffeinated.
And I'm Ryan. Folks call me Jury, also ex-military, recovering night shift enthusiast, and the guy who asked the silly question so you don't have to. Welcome. If you're new, here's the heartbeat of this place. 3CIR was started by veterans, built for veterans, emergency services, and anyone who's done the hard yards in life and work. We run on 5 big tenets: courage, commitment, camaraderie, integrity, and respect. Not wall art, not slogans. It's how we show up.
Exactly. We exist to help you translate what you've already done into qualifications that open doors. If you've ever thought, mate, I've been leading teams and solving problems for years, why am I still stuck on page 1 of every job ad? This show's for you.
Today's topic might be my favourite, the best kept education secret in Australia. It's not a hack, it's not a shortcut, it's not an uncle in HR, it's recognition of prior learning. RPL, and I know we've got listeners from the ADF, AMBOS, Fireys, police, tradies, corporate wranglers, you name it. If you've done the work, this is how you make it count.
RPL is the difference between being told go study 2 years for what you already do and hearing show us the proof, and we'll recognize it. It's a formal assessment, legit as they come, regulated by the Australian Skills Quality Authority, aligned to the Australian Qualifications Framework, and run by registered training organisations. So it's not a nice to have, it's baked into the system.
Right? And for anyone who hears assessment and breaks out in that Year 9 math sweat, let's breathe. We're talking evidence of things you've done, duty statements, references, project plans, training certificates, rosters you built, SOPs you wrote, safety audits you led, after-action reports you couldn't avoid. The stuff that lives on your hard drive and in your head.
And here's the kicker. RPL cares about what you can do, not how you learned it. You might have picked up crisis management in a flood response, built leadership under live pressure, or mastered compliance because you had to. In RPL, those aren't stories. They're competencies you demonstrate against national standards.
Let's actually pull the thread on that word, competency. Every qualification in the vet space is broken down into units. Those units list the tasks, knowledge, and performance standards the industry expects. They're public. They sit on training.gov.au. Assessors literally map your evidence to those units. Tick, tick, tick. And if there's a gap,
you fill it with targeted training, not an entire course from scratch. That's the bit most people never hear. RPL isn't all or nothing. It can be partial credit plus a top-up. It saves time, saves money, and, let's be honest, saves sanity.
You said best kept secret, and I can hear the skeptics going, if it's so good, why haven't I heard of it? Because traditional education shouts louder. Unis and TAFE have marketing budgets and billboards. RPL's a bit like the quiet professional. Doesn't yell, just gets the job done.
And the job it does is translate your real world, runs on the board, into a credential employers instantly understand. Diploma of Leadership and Management, Certificate IV in Work Health and Safety, Cert THRA in Security Operations. If you've been acting as the de facto project manager on site for years, guess what? Project management qualifications might already be within reach.
Quick story, mate of mine, Signals background stacked with comms and security operations experience. He kept getting asked for a qualification in the civilian world. He did RPL, pulled together service records, training statements, some gnarly incident reports, even a hardware migration plan he'd led. 2 months later, nationally recognized quals in security and leadership. That piece of paper didn't teach him anything new, but it opened 3 interviews he'd been locked out of for a year.
That's the HR filter problem. You can be the most competent person in the room, but if job gatekeepers say diploma required, you need the diploma. RPL gets you there without pretending you're starting from zero.
Let's walk through the actual journey, because this is where people go, okay, but what happens between me listening to this and me holding a certificate? Step 1, qualification selection. You don't have to guess. At 3CIR, our advisors look at your experience and map it to what exists. We're talking aligned to the AQF, so whether it's Cert 3, IV, diploma, even AD-EV diploma in some streams, will help you pick the one that fits your past and your next step.
Then the evidence plan. This is the part I love because it's like prepping for an ops brief. You gather the documents that show what you've done. Duty statements, performance reviews, training certificates, rosters, safety audits, project charters, procurement docs, risk assessments, minutes where you chaired a meeting or led a toolbox talk, even photos or logs when relevant. Your assessor gives you the exact shopping list.
And you're not left to wrestle a Dropbox folder alone. There's guidance on what counts, how to present it, what to prioritize. After that, there might be a professional conversation where you walk through scenarios, maybe a practical demonstration. Could be remote, video call, screen share. We've run fully online assessments with people living 3 hours past the last decent coffee shop. You know what I mean?
Assessors then map your evidence against the competency standards in the relevant training package. If everything lines up, brilliant. If there's a gap, you'll get targeted training suggestions to close it quick. Not a year of night classes, just the bit you're missing. The outcome is identical to classroom qualifications because the outcomes are identical. AQF doesn't print a different stamp for RPL.
Let's drop some numbers for the planners in the room. Time frame? Typically 2 to 12 weeks. Got a simple certificate with everything documented? Could be days. Got a complex diploma with moving parts? It's more involved, but still nowhere near a full study year. Cost? RPL is usually 30 to 60% less than traditional training. And let's be real, opportunity cost matters too. If you can keep working and still get the qual, that's money in your pocket and time with the family.
Who's it for? Everybody with experience. But there are hotspots. Leadership and management is an obvious one. Team leaders, supervisors, platoon sergeants, station officers, work health and safety, if you've been doing incident investigations, risk registers, toolbox talks, audits, security operations, operational planning, risk assessments, intel reporting, business admin, if you've been the human spreadsheet who kept the unit running.
HR as well. Recruitment, onboarding, performance management, project management, scoping, scheduling, stakeholder management, budget, technical fields, plenty of trades, and specialist pathways map beautifully once you line up the evidence. And these aren't niche. They're across the Australian qualifications framework, and they're recognised by employers, professional bodies, and licensing authorities. No asterisk that says earned differently.
We should also talk quality because veterans and emergency services people have a sixth sense for dodgy processes. RPL assessment is audited, there's moderation. ASCA keeps standards tight across RTOs, our assessors are qualified, our procedures are standardised, and everything is mapped back to the national framework. You're not getting a pat on the back, you're getting an equivalent qualification with the rigour it deserves.
And if your experience doesn't perfectly match, partial RPL's a thing. You get credit for what you can show, then a learning plan for the rest. That's the targeted approach that cuts dead time. No sense sitting through lectures on risk mitigation if you've been doing risk matrices since your boots first dried.
I can hear the emergency services folks nodding. If you've coordinated multi-agency responses, managed public safety perimeters, debriefed after critical incidents, these are units of competency waiting to be recognised. Same for the ADF crew. You've got service records, training logs, statements of attainment, performance appraisals. That documentation is gold for RPL.
Speaking of service, 3CIR is veteran owned and we get the culture. We speak the language. We know what a JNCO did without you having to draw it in crayon. And because we value that experience, we put our money where our mouth is. Veterans and emergency services personnel, ADF, police, fireys, AMBOs, SES, get 25% off all qualifications at 3CIR. It's our way of acknowledging the capability you bring.
And it's not just a discount, then good luck. We prioritise your processing when you need to move fast for a job start. We help translate your service achievements into civilian terms. We'll even help you position those new credentials on your CV and LinkedIn so recruiters can't miss them.
Let's hit a couple FAQs that come up every time. First, do employers respect RPL? Yes. The piece of paper doesn't say how you earned the competency because the standard is the same, the AQF level, the units, identical. Licensing bodies and professional associations accept them. You don't walk in with a second-class version.
Next one, what exactly do I need for evidence? As much or as little as proves the point. Think variety. References from supervisors, duty statements that list responsibilities, project plans you authored, rosters or budgets you controlled, safety audits you led, SOPs you wrote or implemented, certificates from short courses, photos, or logs if they show your role. The assessor will steer you so you don't drown in paper.
Can you do it online? Absolutely. We've got clients in regional and remote Australia who submit digital portfolios, jump on video for the professional conversation, and even live stream workplace demonstrations. Geography isn't a blocker.
What if I'm not sure which qualification matches me? That's our job. Our advisors review your background and your goals. Some people have experience that aligns with multiple quals, and we'll help you pick the one that moves your career the most. Maybe it's WHS if you've already been the safety go-to. Maybe it's project management if you've secretly been Gantt chart guy for 3 years.
And the big one, how long will it take me personally? It depends on how ready your evidence is and how complex the qualification is, but we'll tell you straight after the free initial assessment. No mystery timelines, no forever looper.
I want to touch on something deeper. RPL represents a mindset shift. It says what you learned in the field, on the factory floor, in the patrol car, in the workshop, has legitimate academic value. We're done pretending classrooms are the only place learning happens. Your experience is real. It's measurable. It's worth recognizing.
That's such a relief to people who've felt invisible. They hear, you need a diploma to lead a team, and think, but I've led 70 people through bushfires. This framework says, show us. Show us how you plan, how you communicate, how you manage risk, how you post-incident review, and if it lines up, you get the credential that reflects who you already are.
And then there's the career unlock. With formal qualifications, job boards stop ignoring you, HR systems stop binning your application. Salary levels often link to qualification tiers. Professional memberships and licenses require certain AQF levels. RPL is the bridge between your capability and those gates.
Okay, practical call to action. If you're listening and thinking, this could be me, start with the free RPL assessment on the 3CIR site. It's quick. You tell us what you've done. We tell you what it maps to, what evidence you'll likely need, and how long it could take. Zero pressure, heaps of clarity.
And if you like learning by watching, we've got short explainer videos for the popular areas: leadership, HR, work health and safety, security operations, business admin, marketing, government, project management. 2 to 4 minutes each, plain English, gives you a feel for where you fit.
Let's bring this to life with a few composite examples. Picture Emma, a station officer in the Fireys. She's led crews, run incident command, handled community safety briefings, and completed a ton of training. RPL could translate that into a diploma of leadership and management and Cert IVA in WHS. She gathers incident reports, training records, duty statements, performance reviews, maybe some debrief summaries, knocks over a professional conversation, and she's done. Next thing, she's eligible for a role in operations coordination with better pay and daylight hours.
Or Jason, an infantry section commander, operations planning, logistics coordination, risk management, team leadership, after action reporting. RPL maps that experience to leadership and project management quals. He completes targeted training for a couple of project finance units he hasn't formally covered, and it's one solid step into a civilian project officer role.
And Priya, corporate side. She's been the unofficial project manager in a mid-sized business, scheduling, stakeholder management, vendor wrangling, budget tracking. She's got meeting minutes, plans, comms she authored, dashboards. RPL recognizes the reality she's been living, not the job title she didn't have.
I want to underscore something we see every week. People underestimate themselves. They think, oh, I just did my job. When you pull it apart, you've got risk assessments, stakeholder engagement plans, training sessions delivered, SOPs implemented, continuous improvement actions tracked. That's competency. That's what RPL measures.
And the quality control bit we mentioned, it protects you too. It means when you hold that qualification, you can be proud. You didn't get stamped. You got assessed to the same national standard, ASCA oversight, AQF alignment, RTO assessors, mapped evidence, rinse and repeat across thousands of people who took the path before you.
Let's answer the last couple of practicals. What happens if you don't pass something? You get feedback. Specific, constructive. We identify the gap and give you options to close it. Could be a short module, could be another piece of evidence, could be a demonstration. We're partners in getting you across the line with integrity.
And support doesn't vanish after the certificate arrives. We'll help you figure out next steps, whether that's further study, professional memberships, or just how to pitch your new qualification in an interview. If you want to keep stacking credentials, the AQF gives you a pathway. Ladder up from Cert I4 to diploma to advanced diploma, if that's your game.
Veterans and emergency services mates, quick word to you specifically. Your training environments track everything. That's a massive advantage. If you've got service records, training certificates, duty statements, letters of appreciation, performance evaluations, that is a treasure chest for RPL. Our assessors know how to read those documents without you translating every acronym.
And because time can be mission critical when you're transitioning, we prioritize your assessment. Plus, the 25% discount on all qualifications is there to reduce the friction. It's not a gimmick. It's a thank you and a practical nudge.
If you're regional or remote, don't let that stop you. We do video interviews, digital portfolio submission, remote workplace observation. We've assessed folks on stations, in mining camps, on ships. The infrastructure's there to meet you where you are.
One more mythbuster, RPL isn't about perfection, it's about competence. You don't need to have done everything under the sun. You need to show you can consistently perform to the industry standard. Evidence across different contexts is helpful, and the professional conversation lets you fill in the story behind the documents.
I reckon that's the heart of it. Your story, told properly, backed by evidence, evaluated against a national benchmark. When you put those pieces together, you stop selling yourself short.
Let's land this bird with a little motivation. If you're halfway through a career change or you've hit a ceiling because you're missing a formal qual, don't let another 6 months drift. Start the free RPL assessment. Best case, you're 2 to 12 weeks away from a credential that changes your trajectory. Worst case, you find out exactly what gap you need to close and how to close it quickly.
And remember what we stand for. Courage to back yourself, commitment to see it through, camaraderie because you're not doing this alone, integrity in how we assess, and respect for the experience you bring. That's the 3CIR way.
Next episode, we're doubling down on 2 hot questions everyone asks us. 1, how exactly does RPL deliver a cost-effective pathway to formal qualifications down to the dollars, the time saved, and the opportunity cost? And 2, how do you stack that with the 25% discount if you're ADF or emergency services, so you maximize the win? We'll break it down with real numbers and real timelines.
Bring your notebook, bring your questions, and maybe bring a mate who keeps putting this off. We'll make it simple and we'll make it actionable.
Until then, take 5 minutes, hit the free RPL assessment tool on the 3CIR site and see what your experience is already worth. You might be closer than you think.
You've earned it. We'll catch you next time.